Call meeting to order. Roll call.
Sarah Payne.
Here.
Peter Kemp.
Here.
Logan Zuber.
Here.
Dave Schlemmer.
Here.
Chris Lamb.
Here.
Quorum. Mike's. Hello. Okay, guess it's on. Have an opportunity to read the minutes from the last meeting.
Yes.
Any changes or modifications?
Nope.
Okay, may I have a motion?
Move to approve the minutes as presented from the September meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any changes for us tonight? Okay, if you have a cell phone or a pager, please mute it, airplane mode, or shut it off. I don't believe we have any old business. Moving right along, new business. Open the public hearing for BZA's standard variance 2025-11.
Good evening. James Carteret, City Planner for Auburn. This first application is a request. It was filed by Matthew Miller. He's requesting a development standards variance to erect a 6-foot tall privacy fence within the front yard setback area of his property along 3rd Street. His property is at 501 North Van Buren Street. The variance requires public hearing was advertised in the Star on October 8th, and there are actually 10 adjacent property owners sent notice of the request. The property itself outlined here on the map, you can see it actually has frontage on 2nd Street to the north, 3rd Street to the south, and Van Buren Street to the east. Property zone traditional residential. There's a couple of photographs of the property itself showing this is from the alley. There's an alley on the west side of the property. This is looking east into the setback area for the property. That's an existing fence that he has that he wants to pull closer to 3rd Street. And this is just showing you along the alleyway, his existing fence of his existing backyard. It is about 10 foot off the alley. And one of this is from 3rd Street looking north at the property. He's constructing an in-ground pool on the property and wants to have the fence on the south side of the pool so he has room to get around the south side of the pool. This is an aerial photograph, again, looking towards the north. So you can see the existing fence in line with the house. He's asking to move the fence. And actually, he's asking to move it to a location. You can see the property to the west. They have a decorative fence. That is the location off of 3rd Street where he would like to move his fence to. They would be in alignment with one another. We did not receive any comments from any adjacent property owners that were sent notice. There's the neighbor's fence in that photograph that does show their existing decorative fence, which is allowed to be up in the setback area. So the applicant's asking to move his privacy fence to the same distance from the street. This is just another view of the neighbor's fence looking north. Again, the dirt mounds where the construction is going on the property is where the fence would be. So I mentioned that existing fence. It does enclose the rear yard of his property. It's about 10 foot from the alley. The proposed fence would extend out from the house about 23 feet towards 3rd Street. The fence would then be about 22 feet from the actual pavement of the street. So it's a wide right of way there for 3rd Street. So there's a lot of grass area that's actually right of way before you even get to the property line. So his fence would be 22 foot off the pavement. Doesn't really show it on the photograph, but if you go across Van Buren Street, there's a couple of houses that are built to the same line, if you would, the same distance off of 3rd Street. The UDO does not allow a privacy fence in a front yard setback area, and that's determined anywhere where you have a street frontage. The setback is from the foundation of the home to the property line. So it doesn't matter if that if the setback requirement is 25 feet there and your home happens to be 35 feet, your fence has to be 35 foot back. Somewhat of the scenario we have here. This property is burdened with, if I can use that word, with the front yard setback on all sides of the property. As far as any location for a fence, he has 3 front yard setback areas. The applicant, again, I mentioned the pool, so this would allow enclosure of the pool area, as well as they have animals that they want to be able to have in a secured environment, thus the privacy fence. The staff did look at this request. We feel the proposed fence is in a location where it's set back far enough off of the street, doesn't create any line of sight issues. If you're traveling on the alley, it's not going to block your view when you approach 3rd Street from the alley. The request seems to be appropriate for this property, non-intrusive to the neighbors. So staff does recommend you accept our proposed findings of fact and approve this variance application as requested. That concludes staff report.
Questions?
No, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Would the applicant please come forward, introduce yourself, spell your last name, and provide any additional information you care to?
Matthew Miller, and it's Miller.
Anything
Sorry,
else
what?
you'd like to add?
I think he covered it pretty well. We also have young kids, and we're wanting to have room inside that fence for their trampoline and to put up a play set for them. Basically, we just moved in, so it's kind of empty back there.
That'd be nice with the pool.
Yeah,
Okay. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mhm.
Is there anyone in the audience who would care to speak on this subject for or against? If not, I'll close the public hearing. Board discussions?
Makes sense.
Ditto.
No problem. Great. May we please have the findings of fact?
Findings of fact for 501 North Endurance, standard for BZA Cemetery 2025-11. Number 1, the approved variance will not be adhered to the public health, safety, and also general welfare of the community.
Well,
Will
Will
not.
not.
Which is about staff finding there.
yes.
Yes.
2, the use of value of the area adjacent to the property included variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner.
Will
not.
Which should adopt that staff finding.
Yes.
Yes.
3, the strict application of terms of the ordinance will not result in practical difficulties in use of the property.
Will.
Will.
We should adopt the 3rd.
Yes.
Yes.
Those are the
Entertain a motion?
Move to approve BZA standard variance 2025-11 as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All set. Good luck. Okay, we will open the public hearing. What's next?
902.
Okay. Oops.
You're good to go.
BZA standard variance 2025-012. Staff report.
Yes, sir. This request filed by the city of Auburn through the fire department. They're requesting to allow, in essence, a wall sign to be placed on top of the 3-story training structure that was recently erected on the property as part of the fire department's training facility located at 902 South Grandstaff Drive. Again, this request required public hearing was advertised in the Star on October 8th, and there were 9 adjacent property owners sent notice of this request. The actual training facility is outlined on the aerial there in yellow. The actual sign location is the Star on the property. This is just this is perspective of the property. I thought it was important to be able to show the existing fire station at the corner of Grandstaff at 15th, and then the training facility is to the east of the main station there. A couple of photographs. These are the units that are container units that are placed beside each other and interconnected. The sign would go on top of these container units. The property itself, the whole entire fire station property is all zoned institutional. A couple of photographs. This first one, again, that perspective showing the view from Grandstaff Drive to the fire station. And this is actually up to the east of the fire station building now, where you can actually see the container units. The sign would go on top of those units that you see. We did not receive any comments from our notices from any adjacent property owners. So I mentioned the sign itself would be located on top of the training structure. The sign would be an identification for those individuals that would be having training at the facility, might be coming from out of town, not familiar with the property. They'll be able to see the sign location if it was on top of those container units rather than being an actual wall sign, which would be permitted on the units. The UDO does not allow a sign to be attached to the top of a roof or a structure. And that's really what we're talking about, is taking a wall sign to put it, which is allowed to put it on top of the container units. They'd be allowed to have a sign of 96 square foot. What they're proposing to do would be 85 square feet in size. The sign would be illuminated, just with a direct light illumination. The sign would face the intersection of Grandstaff. It's really intended for, again, somebody going through the intersection to see where the training facility is located at. The applicant did submit some proposed findings for your consideration, as well as the staff proposed findings. So as staff looked at this request, it is a unique request. I don't know that we've had a request to do a sign on a roof of a structure. But we do feel in this instance, the facility is not easily visible from the intersection. Allowing the sign to be placed on top of the structure provides that identification to any visitors to the training facility or students that would be going to the facility. The metal design, it is a metal sign, the letters AFD, and the logo itself, all part of metal to match the metal shipping containers that are there. So staff does feel in this instance, in this location, it does seem appropriate to allow the sign itself. And we do request that you accept this proposed findings of fact and approve the request as presented.
Questions?
There's no electronics on the sign, right? It's
No.
all illuminated from
Just
distance.
illuminated from, I believe, a solar powered light. They're all constructed of metal, so there's no lighting component of the sign itself. It would just have it in somewhat of a light to at least have at nighttime. We have nighttime training or something.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Would the applicant please come forward, state your name, spell your last name, and add any additional information you care to?
Good evening. My name is Doug Cox. Last name is Cox. I'm the fire chief of the fire department. We brought this to for you guys to hear this request tonight, just because we are very passionate about training at the Auburn Fire Department. We are well known through the state of Indiana as a training facility. I feel we have probably one of the best training facilities in all of the state of Indiana and Ohio and Michigan. If you have not been there, it's quite impressive. I know Mr. Slimmer drove through there the other day. So it's a very unique property, and we just want to show it off. I mean, that's what we want to do. Students from Eastside Elite Program did all the metal work for the sign, donated all that. Heitman Steel donated all the steel. So we got partners in with this also, and James Coating here in Auburn is doing the powder coating of it as well. So the whole community came together for this sign, and we just want to show off our facility.
What are the structures used for?
So that three-story structure is a live burn training structure. So that structure is unique in a way that the first floor is designed for strip malls. So we built it on the inside to mimic strip mall occupancies. And the second floor is apartments. So we have 3 apartments built into those structures. And then the top floor, we're designing that right now and building that out to mimic a hotel outlay.
With the reoccurring thermal events that occur around there, where breakdown of the roof of the Conticos and things like that, is there a risk with this load? Are they going to remain load bearing? How do we ensure safety? The sign won't fall through the
Yep.
roof.
So those structures have, so the entire outside of those structure is where the integrity lies. The skin itself will move back and forth, but the outline of those structures are what's is the integrity of them, and that's what we'll be mounting that sign to, is the heavier, thicker steel. And that's one of the reasons we didn't want to put it on the side, is just because of that warpage. And also, I mean, we try to keep up on the paint as best we can, but it does get scorched every now and then. So that's why we want to put it up top, just so it protects it a little bit more.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you very much.
Okay,
I have
thank
a
you.
question.
Oh,
You said the sign's going to be powder coated. What color will it be?
So the letters will be in red, and then the Maltese cross will be a combination of red and white.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak for or against the project? If not, I'll close the public hearing. Board discussion?
The fact that it's not on the center of that was my big concern, was the wear over time. But if it's on the edges and it's a little bit more robust, I've alleviated that concern.
There are fires going on in these 3 levels, correct? Just a yes or no is fine.
Yeah, so the fires that will go on, they're in certain rooms that we can place those fires. All 3 floors will not be on fire at the same time. So we just, one at a time.
Great. Thanks. Any other discussion? Okay. May we have the findings of fact, please, Chief?
The findings of fact for 902 South Branstad Drive, standard variance 2025-12. Number 1, the approval of the variance will or not be interest of the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the
Will not.
Will not.
community. Which is about the staff.
Yes.
Yes.
2, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property, including the variance will or not be affected in a substantially adverse manner.
Will not.
Which is about the staff finding.
Yes.
Yes.
And 3, the strict application of terms of ordinance will or not result in practical difficulties in the use of the property.
Will.
Will.
Which is about that staff finding.
Yes.
So those findings.
May I have a motion, please?
Move to approve BZA standard variance 2025-12.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Glad that facility's here. Okay, we'll open the public hearing for BZA standard variance 2025-013.
This request, it was filed by Craig Miller, requesting a development standards variance to reduce the side yard setback requirement from 5 foot down to 0 feet to allow a carport addition to the east side of the residence, the garage on the property that's located at 723 West Ensley Avenue. This too required public hearing advertised in the Star on October 8th, and there were 6 adjacent property owners sent notice of the request, highlighted where the property is off of Ensley Avenue. This actually shows the existing garage structure, and the roof would be extended towards the east property line of the property. This is actually a schematic of the proposal. So there's a 1-story garage now. He is planning on doing a second story to the garage, which is allowed at its current location. The variance would allow the roof itself, that is going to be a cantilevered roof that would go up to the property line. There'd be no side or post to the roof. It would just be a cantilevered roof that allows a taller clearance for parking of a larger vehicle underneath the canopy. The property itself is zoned R3 residential. A couple of photographs. This shows the 1-story garage. There's a concrete pad existing, and the property line would be where that chain link fence is located at. This is just kind of back from the roadway, giving just perspective of the current driveway and the garage. This is a aerial perspective of the property itself. We did not receive any comments from any of the adjacent property owner notices that were sent out. And again, the carport's intended to be cantilevered, as I mentioned, constructed as part of the addition to the garage that would cover and protect, I believe, a parked motorhome. The request is to reduce it to 0, and typically that would be you wouldn't want to have the roof structure to go up exactly to the property line, but it would allow by going. I didn't want to have a request of down to 3 inches or something. It's just that's why the 0 foot is to allow the reduction from the required setback, but that is not the intent to go absolutely up to the property line. I'm sure it would be off the property line by a few inches. The existing home and that garage built back in 1950. The Auburn UDO does allow cantilevered roofs and roof overhangs, but only up to 3 foot, and then only still has to maintain a 3 foot setback. That's thus the request for the variance. There is an existing garage on the adjacent property. It is further setback. It's about 15 foot off the property line. So in this case, staff, at our analysis of the request, currently the motorhome's allowed to be parked there on that pad. I don't know what, at the time that I visited the property, there wasn't anything parked there, but it is allowed to have a vehicle parked on it. The pad is poured up to the property line. Placing the canopy over the motorhome, part of the new roof structure of the garage, I think it's a reasonable request. It's an open, the canopy, it's open. There's not a sidewall. There's not any post. So it's not really impeding any views, anything in the encroachment of that nature. But we do feel the carport should not be allowed to be enclosed. Typically, when you grant the variance, it would allow, that would be the new setback was 0. In this instance, with our part of our recommendation, which is a recommendation of approval, is that the carport shall not be enclosed. Keep it open. That way there's not a wall along the property line in that location. So again, we recommend approval, that you accept our proposed findings of fact with that one condition. That concludes staff report.
Any questions?
Do they have any issue with that? Do they want it enclosed?
Not that
Okay.
I'm aware of, no. I just feel it's kind of one of those things. If we grant the variance, I can't tell them they can't do it in the future because that's the new setback line is 0. So I just feel it should remain open. If they want to, they could come back and make that request. But that neighbor that's most affected, they see, well, it's going to be open. So
Would that preclude only a permanent wall ever being erected, or would that be fabric or tactile blocking of that area?
I think it would be any type of enclosure, whatever material they would want to use to enclose that. That would be, the motorhome itself could create a wall effect if that's truly, what gets parked there, but we wouldn't want to see fabric or any type of
And that's what my
enclosure.
concern was. So
Right.
Well, the condition you stipulated was the carport structural should not be enclosed.
Yeah.
It's just pretty broad, so
It's pretty broad. It covers,
covers cloth.
it could even be, some type of, maybe not a permanent
Right.
wall, but you just don't want to have that effect in any way.
Okay. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Appreciate it. Would the applicant please come forward, introduce yourself, spell your last name, and add any other information you'd like to add?
Good evening. Greg Miller, Miller. I'm not looking to enclose this. All I want is, I got solar panels and 2 air conditioners on top of my RV. And what I'm looking at is I just want it protected from the snow and that's coming off. If I go out 5 foot, everything's going to slide right on top of those. And I just want to kind of protect it just a little bit to keep it safe for me anyway, when we use it.
Makes sense. Anything else? Questions? Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak for or against this project? If not, we'll close the public hearing. Board discussion?
Jim, the only question I had was about it not enclosed, and it's not even particular to this case, but like, wouldn't you almost prefer that they would be able to enclose it? Because if, like you said, they would just put a cloth thing up, that might be worse for everybody else if they did that. Again, I'm not talking to this, I'm just asking.
In any case, yeah, and I think it's a broad condition, but it would not allow them to even cloth it as a material, like just no enclosure at all.
Sorry, I'm sure.
But I think that would be the case. If we're reducing a setback to 0, we would want to ensure that it doesn't get enclosed.
That's all I had. It seems straightforward. Me and the neighbor next door clearly doesn't have an issue with it, so.
Yeah, zero line setbacks are always a concern, but this is one of those limited applications that I think is reasonable. For the condition that staff recommended, I would probably look to recommend a little bit further of carport shall not be enclosed with permanent or temporary materials, just as it's that way it's fully specified and very well and clear understood, not only just for this homeowner, but for whomever he sells that property to down the line as well, to reduce any potential for ambiguity.
Sounds reasonable.
Agreed.
Okay. Excuse me. May we have the findings of fact, please, Mr. Buck?
This is the findings of fact for 7.3. We have new standards variance 2025-13. Number one, the approval of variance will not be injurious to public health, safety, morals, and general welfare.
Will not.
Adopt the staff finding.
Yes.
Yes.
Two, use of the area adjacent to the property, including variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner.
Will not.
We should adopt the staff finding.
Yes.
Yes.
Three, restrict application of the terms of ordinance will or not result in practical difficulties to use the property.
Will.
We should adopt that staff finding.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion.
Would move to approve BZA standard variance 2025-13 with the following condition: the carport structure shall not have any temporary or permanent enclosure.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're now open the public hearing for BZA standard variance 2025-14.
This request was filed by St. Mark's Lutheran Church. They're requesting a development standards variance to erect a 4-foot tall chain link fence within the front yard setback area along the Van Buren Street frontage of the property, which is located at 211 West 9th Street. Again, this variance request required public hearing advertised with the start on October 8th. There were 7 adjacent property owners notified of the request. The church property, they actually have the entire block. I've highlighted the principal part of the property. The applicant submitted this sketch drawing that does show the existing church building. 10th Street is to the south and Van Buren Street to the west. They have an existing fenced-in area on the south side of the church building. They have the bell tower right at the corner of Van Buren and 10th Street. Then this new fenced-in play area would be along Van Buren Street. Currently, it's a grassed-in area. The photograph, the property is owned institutional. This is a photograph. It's looking north along Van Buren Street. It shows the bell tower and the grass area there beyond the bell tower is the location of the new play area. Another photograph. Again, this is looking east along 10th Street. Then this is actually where they would put a gate in to have, I believe there's a gate there that would have access to the additional play area. This is showing the existing fence they have of the play area on the south side of the building. And it's just an aerial perspective of the corner of the property. We did not receive any comments from the notices that were sent out for this request. And again, it would be the new play area would be a 4-foot tall chain link fence, similar to what they currently have around the playground area. The fence, it would not enclose the bell tower itself. It would be though constructed along the property line along Van Buren. The church itself does extend out to Van Buren Street, but that's only a small portion of the building along 9th Street. The UDO does not allow a 4-foot chain link fence in a front yard setback area. That is what has precipitated the need for the request for the variance. This is another unique property that has frontage on all 4 sides of the building. So to do any of the fencing that they want to do, they would be required to request a variance under the current code. There is one example I thought that was kind of interesting, not far from this site. The Auburn Presbyterian Church has done a similar, have done fencing at a corner, all the way to the corner of the intersection. The thing about these fences are they are open, so it doesn't block your view in any way. When I traveled that particular site, it didn't impede view whatsoever. So it seemed to be a nice way to enclose the yard area of the property. But specifically in this request, we have children playing, and obviously want to keep them safe. So staff looked at this request. We feel the proposed fence is in a location that does not create any line of sight visibility issues or encroachment issues. The chain link fence is not opaque, so like I said, you can see through it. And for this property, the fence encroaching into the required front yard setback area seems appropriate. It's non-intrusive. So we do recommend that you accept staff's proposed findings and approve the request as presented.
Questions or comments?
My concern when seeing this was just more about the fence itself being chain link rather than the example that you showed of being more of a decorative fence. And I know that this property does fall within the downtown district. And as part of the Auburn 2040 comprehensive plan, I know they were trying to preserve the architectural nature of those downtown properties. Is there anything in that plan that requires those fences be of a structure that's of more decorative nature? Or that was my concern, less about the fence itself, but more about the decorative nature of it. Looking at the Presbyterian Church's fence, it does more align with the architectural structure of that church, where the chain link fence just doesn't lend itself to being in alignment with what I would like to see in the front yard of a beautiful church along one of our corridors to downtown.
And that's a good observation. A little bit of the difference with the 2040 plan, and we have the downtown plan of the downtown area. This property has a different zoning classification. It doesn't have quite the same standards that a downtown property would have as far as architecturally. I'll let the applicant discuss the reasons for the type of fence, but it's probably to match what they currently have. Although that's not along the Van Buren. It does stop short of Van Buren Street. I think that's a good question for the applicant, why they chose that fence style. But it doesn't have, again, from staff's viewpoint, it doesn't have the same standard requirements that you would if you were in the downtown area. So it is a loud material for the property.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Would the applicant please come forward, state your name, spell your last name, and tell us about a decorative fence.
Rod Knox, Knox. I'm president of the congregation and representing St. Mark's as well as the Early Learners Program. Our enrollments increased, so consequently we had to enlarge the play area. So with this, we requested a variance. We didn't really recognize the decorative expectations of the city of Auburn. We just wanted to maintain the scope of what we currently had. So we didn't take that into consideration. Just kind of wanted to enlarge the play area so we can accommodate an increasing enrollment.
I understand. Um,
There's a fencing that also is decorative, but isn't opaque.
Well, the Presbyterian churches, you drive by that and it's, black, looks like wrought iron, but it's more expensive, I'm sure, too.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Don, you're not going
I don't need to add anything.
to? Okay. Well, we missed you, so.
Yeah. He's saying for 4 against.
Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak for or against this project? If not, we'll close the public hearing. Board discussion? They need to keep those little kids fenced in.
You keep them safe, and as much as I'd love them to have a decorative fence, I can imagine that it's significantly
More expensive.
more expensive. And it's not in with our downtown district corridor that I don't want to sharpen the rules for them.
Yeah. I'm surprised that that falls with outside of the downtown, but it must be just outside then. I take it. Okay.
Okay.
That's it's outside that area, and they're just continuation of what they currently have. Ideally, we want to improve that area, but we have to be within our scope of
Yeah.
certain areas that we've already defined.
Okay.
Agreed.
Thank you very much. May we have the findings of fact, please?
The findings of fact are 211 West 9th Street, standard variance 2025-14. Number one, the equivalent variance will or not be addressed to public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community.
Will
not.
Not.
Two, adopt staff finding.
Yes.
Yes.
Two, the use and value of the area based on the property including variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner.
Will not.
Two, adopt the staff finding.
Yes.
Yes.
Three, the strict application of terms of the ordinance will or not result in practical difficulties in the use of the property.
Will.
Two, should adopt that finding.
Yes.
Yes. Have a motion, please.
Move to approve. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll move to approve BZA standard variance 2025-14.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. No other information, other business? We have meeting next month?
We will have, yes.
Okay. Any reports? No special projects? Okay. Have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.